Good evening, friends. We start tonight with the Russian presidential election. As expected, Vladimir Putin will lead Russia for another 6 years. The Russian people left no doubt who they believe can lead their country through this political transition. The Western view of Russian President Vladimir Putin is a long way from the people who elected him to a fourth term. Vilified as a dictator by the West, a man with a vision of world dominance, even a murderer, Putin garnished 76% of the vote, his largest margin ever. The Communist Party received 11% of the vote. Has it ever occurred to the world? How can a man so tarnished by the West be so popular with the Russian people? Russia gets blamed for everything from gas attacks to invading countries to global election interference. None of that seemed to matter to the Russian people. Putin did state that this will be his last term as president, and 2024 is out of the question.
At the moment, I am not planning any constitutional changes.
Do
you think you will be in the presidential seat until 2030? Of course, if you change the constitution.
I think what you are saying is laughable. I am not going to stay there until I turn 100.
Russian voters clearly see progress. Russia, being faced with numerous sanctions, continues to expand its energy base and agricultural industry. Putin and the Russian influence in Syria is going almost unchallenged, and despite Western claims, Russia has taken the lead in destroying ISIS. Russia has unveiled highly sophisticated new weaponry, although Putin says Russia has peaceful intentions and denounces any arms race.
There is no intention to speed up some kind of arms race, and just the opposite. We will develop constructive relations with all the countries in the world. We want and call for our partners to have a constructive dialogue, but obviously, not everything depends on us.
The most recent accusation coming from the UK, the United States, and Europe is a nerve gas attack on a double-agent former spy and his daughter. Putin responded.
The first thing that comes to mind is that if it was military-grade poison, the people would of course have died on the spot. Russia has no such substances. We destroyed all of our chemical weapons as monitored by international inspectors. I think anyone with common sense understands that it is nonsense for Russia to do such a thing before the presidential election and the Football World Cup.
We expect Russia to continue to be a difficult partner, but Russia is also needed for solving the big international conflicts, which is why we want to maintain a dialogue. However, we do expect constructive contributions from Russia, more so than we have seen in most recent times.